Hey, just a quick disclaimer. As you probably know by now, I am not a medical professional. I'm not a neurologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an MS nurse. So the videos that I do about medication are purely through my own personal research and my personal experience. Everybody's experience with medication is completely different. I hope that we can bring the community together to help share these experiences, which will allow me and you and everyone else to make a better informed decision on medication that we can take to hopefully halt the MS relapses that we're currently facing. But yeah, take from these videos what you will and discard the information that you don't need, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi, welcome to Mama Do. Hope you're doing well. So due to my recent relapse and MRI scans, my MS is highly active. So I've got old lesions on my MRI scan that were active, and I've got new lesions within my cervical spine which are highly active. And my lesions in my cervical spine are what caused my right hand side relapse in my leg and my arm and my torso. So I've been given a choice of 3 medications to choose from: Tisibri, Ocrevus and Mavenclad. 2 of those, Tisibri and Ocrevus, are infusions. Mavenclad is tablet form. They all obviously come with their own risk of side effects. Any medication comes with a risk of side effects dependent on who you are. You may experience those side effects, you may not experience those side effects, you may experience them in a mild form, you may experience them in a severe form. I've just had a letter through this morning to say that I'm JC virus positive. And you have to be tested for JC virus antibodies before you have these medications, because there's certain medications that you can't have if you're JC positive. So Tisibri, unfortunately, is out of the question. I know in America they still give Tisibri if you've got JC antibodies, but they just monitor you very closely, because if you've got the JC virus antibodies within your body, you're at higher risk of developing something called PML, which is a serious brain disease. It's where that virus turns into PML, and PML attacks your brain and can either make you severely disabled neurologically, or you can die from it. It is that serious, unfortunately. So I'll tell you about all 3 anyway. So Tisibri is an infusion based, so can go into hospital, cannula, infusion based, and that takes around a couple of hours to complete, and then you can go home. And you have that every 28 days. Ocrevus, again, is infusion, so you go into hospital with cannula, they put that infusion through. That, from what I've read, lasts about an entire day, maybe 5-6 hours. And you have that, your first doses are half and half, so you have half dose on day 1, half dose on day 15, and then you have a full dose on 6 months, and then you have a full dose every 6 months thereafter. Mavenclad is tablet form medication. Now Mavenclad, your medication, the amount that you take, steps up within a 2-week period, and in year 1 you have 2 weeks worth of tablet form medication, and that's it. And then year 2 you have 2 weeks of tablet form medication, and then that's it. And Mavenclad, even though you only take it for 2 weeks of the first year, 2 weeks of the second year, it can give you up to 4 years relapse free MS. So Mavenclad, out of all of them, in terms of the time it takes to take it, because you just take a tablet at home, and the times you take it within a 4-year period, seem wonderful. They all have similar side effects, you know, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, itching, headaches, you know, those type of what I would call what's on every single side effect leaflet that you'll ever find in any medication, even if you get some tablets from the pharmacy or your doctor or Boots or whatever. But there are some other serious side effects. So to Cyberi and Ocrevus, you've got more chance, because of the suppression of the immune system and the way that they work, you have more chance of contracting things like respiratory illnesses and skin infections from cuts, because obviously your immune system's not working properly and it takes longer or a different amount of time to heal those wounds. They all have, like I said before, they all have the chance of you developing PML, which is less if you haven't got the JC antibodies. But the most scary one for me is that Mavenclad, there's a risk of cancer on there. And that's really scary, because MS is scary in itself. You don't know when it's going to happen. Relapses, I mean. You don't know when a relapse is going to occur. You don't know where it's going to occur. You don't know how long it's going to last for. The relapse itself actually going through to its peak. And you don't know how long it's going to take you to recover from that relapse, or even if you are going to recover from that relapse. So I completely understand why we're wanting to take these medications that will help stop these relapses. And none of these medications are symptom based, so they're not there to improve your symptoms. They're not there to improve your fatigue, improve your movement, improve your itchiness, headaches, numbness, pain, you know, any symptom, any MS symptom that you have. That's not what their job is to do. Their job is to stop you having relapses, or stop you having as many as you would have if you didn't take any medication at all. And I was talking to my neurologist about it, and I said to her, what if, hypothetically speaking, that I didn't take any medication? What do you think my prognosis would be? And she said to me, she said, I don't know. I kind of laughed, and I said, what? I kind of understand, but I don't at the same time. You know, you're the specialist. What would my prognosis be? What would it mean if I didn't take any medication? And she said, well, you may have another relapse, you may not. You may have one next week, you may have one in a year, you may have one in 5 years, but I just don't know. And I said, so what would happen if I took the medication in terms of relapses? And she said, well, we can only go on the statistics. Obviously, I get that. But she said, you might start taking this medication and you may have no relapses for the length of time that you're on that medication, and then you may start having relapses and we might have to change you onto another one, or you might start this medication and continue to have relapses. So it's really hard really hard decision. And if you're somebody watching this who hasn't got MS, but you're supporting someone with MS, whether that be your husband, your wife, your partner, your daughter, your son, your dad, your mom, anybody that you're supporting, your friend, it's a really, really, really hard mental decision to weigh up between the condition that you've already got and what it's done to you so far as an individual, because everyone with MS is completely different. Weighing that up with looking through booklets of different medication that have what I call normal side effects, average side effects, and some quite severe side effects, like the development of either PML or cancer. Now I'm going to have to do some extra research on the numbers, because in these books that I've got that come from the manufacturers of these medications, they don't give me how many out of how many, and I don't think you can really weigh up whether you can take a certain medication or not just by a list of side effects, because a list means nothing. Yes, it tells you what you could experience, but it doesn't tell you your likelihood. And I know everyone is completely different. I might take something and I may have no side effects whatsoever, and you may take something, or your friend, your mom and dad, your sister, brother might take something and they might have really severe side effects. So I'll have to do some more research on the numbers, how many of how many. But it's a really tough decision. It's a really tough decision to have to almost weigh up on scales. Like in my mind, it's like I've got MS this side, and you go through each medication on the other side. Cybri, it's worth taking because it's going to reduce the amount of relapses I'm going to have, but then I'm going to have the risk of PML, and do you know what I mean? And you want the scales to balance somewhere, and they never seem like they do. The scales never seem like they want to balance anywhere. And obviously it would be a perfect world, right, if the scales balanced, and we don't live in a perfect world. Because I've had bad experiences on medication before, I've had 2 different medications, MS medications, previous to these 3 that I've been given a choice of. They were completely different though, because they were beta interferons, the lowest level of MS medication that you can have. The one my body just completely rejected, unfortunately, that was called Copaxone, self-injected medication. The second was Plegridy, again a self-injected medication. But that made me feel awful, like tired, groggy, like fluey, just a horrible, not very well feeling for about 4 to 5 days out of every 14 that I had to inject. So I kind of weighed that up, and especially with looking after my little boy every single day, because it's not fair on him. He doesn't realise that I'm poorly. I just weighed up that it wasn't fair on him for me to feel that bad for 4 to 5 days out of every 14. So I knocked that on the head. But obviously with the bad news of the old lesions being active and new lesions being active, and especially when you have a massive, great big relapse that takes a couple of your limbs out for a period of time, you want a fix. You want a fix, and there are no fixes. So that's difficult to deal with in itself. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So 3 medications. Cybri, which unfortunately I can't have. That's the one out of the 3 that I probably would have chosen. Ocrevus, Mavinclad. I still don't know which ones I'm going to choose. I think I might get my MS nurse to come round and sit with me so we can go through these options and she can give me more information. I'm going to do some more research on the internet. I'm also going to see if, because there probably is, I'm also going to see if there are some Facebook groups for these particular medications, people who are taking these medications. Because I know there was a group for people who took Plegridy. I don't know if there's one for Copaxone because my body rejected it and I didn't continue, but for Plegridy there is, if you're taking Plegridy and you don't know about it, there is a Facebook group for people who take Plegridy, which is super useful. So I'm going to have a look on Facebook to see if there's one for Tysabri, Ocrevus and Mavinclad, just to have a look. If you have taken any one of those 3 medications or know someone who's taken any one of those 3, Tysabri, Ocrevus, Mavinclad, please email me your experiences. Help me out here, help me out. Or comment below and let me know, because it's not just me, is it? I mean, there's, if you're watching this and you're trying to decide, or there's somebody else you know that's either on these medications or is thinking about taking them, you want the information too, right? So comment below on the experiences that you've had with those medications, or comment below if you've got questions about these medications and you can't find answers anywhere, like me. If there's certain things that you still don't know, ask questions below and we'll see if the community who watches these videos can give us some feedback on those, because that would be super useful. I'll update you on anything else that I find out, or which one I choose, and if I do choose one, I'll update you with my journey on those, just to give you some more information if you do decide to take one of these medications after I do. But until then, stay healthy. See you soon.